You grab a cold Coca-Cola from the refrigerator. It has a red label. It's a familiar fizz. It's proudly American, isn't it? Not anymore. A can from Brampton, Ontario might be in your hand right now. Not in Atlanta. No, Pittsburgh. In 2025, what once stood for American refreshment is now being quietly produced across the northern border. And it's not just Coke, it's also trucks, ketchup, soup, batteries, and the toaster on your kitchen counter. More and more of your everyday needs are being made in Canada. The worst is yet to come. Here, outsourcing is not being done to China or Vietnam. These American businesses are quietly relocating to the next door. No press releases. No significant announcements. The meaning of Made in America. It was simply a deliberate, systematic migration that hurt the United States. So what's causing the shift? Is it just about cheaper labor? Not even close. Think about energy costs, tariffs on steel and aluminum, clean hydropower, faster permits, government incentives, and trade agreements that the United States cannot match. In addition to low-cost manufacturing, Canada has more intelligent infrastructure, with far-reaching consequences. This movie exposes 6 well-known American corporations that have successfully and secretly moved their core operations to Canada. You can see the labels. Now you have to read the fine print. Therefore, if you have ever thought that the products you trust the most were still proudly made in the USA, you might want to sit down. This story will surprise you. Like the truth of the label? Click like and then subscribe. We share the real stories that are shaping your career, your checkbook, and your future #1 Coca-Cola cans. Think about the satisfying hiss you get when you crack open a cold can of Coke, the bubbles and the classic red and white branding. For decades, that roar echoed in the heart of American business. The supply chains for Coca-Cola were situated in Atlanta, Pittsburgh, and the Midwest. But in 2025, that legacy has quietly evolved. Nowadays, most of the Coca-Cola cans that are sold in the northern US states of Ohio, Michigan, and New York are not made in the US. They are produced in Canada's Brampton, Ontario. And why? 2 words: aluminum taxes. In response to tensions in global trade, the United States levied a 50% tariff on imports of aluminum. This immediately raised the cost of domestic can production. Coca-Cola couldn't ignore Canada's triple threat: reduced hydroelectric energy costs, stronger trade agreements with Europe and Asia, and the elimination of tariffs on aluminum. The problem wasn't loyalty. Math was involved. As a result, Coca-Cola refocused its entire supply chain. Your favorite carbonated drinks are now delivered directly to the United States every day by hundreds of trucks, thanks to upgrades made to Canadian plants. Store shelves. For you, the client, nothing has changed. Same can, same taste. Behind the scenes, however, every US facility has shut down or scaled back operations. Workers are working fewer hours. Some people have lost their jobs entirely. It's not just a beverage. It has to do with a shifting industrial strategy that is making Canada the next manufacturing powerhouse in North America. And if Coca-Cola took the lead, who would follow? Number 2, Tesla batteries. When you think of Tesla, you probably picture sleek cars driving out of Texas or California, high-tech, American-made, and always at the forefront of innovation. But by 2025, a sizable amount of Tesla's power will originate from sources outside of Montreal, Quebec. Indeed, precisely. Instead of being built in Nevada or Texas, many of them are now being built at a brand new gigafactory in Canada. So why the move? The 3 essential elements are incentives, energy, and speed. Long wait times for mining permits, rising electricity prices in the US, and heightened labor union resistance were all challenges Elon Musk faced. But Quebec had something much more appealing. The battery business of Tesla is located in the north. Tesla did not leave the US. Efficiency and risk diversification were its goals. Thousands of high-performance battery cells are now produced daily in Canada and shipped directly to Tesla's assembly lines in the US. Consumers still believe that Teslas are made in the US. It may, however, be powered by a Canadian battery. This transformation is not just about a factory. It marks the beginning of a new era in manufacturing where geography is subordinated to economic reasoning. In addition, Tesla envisions a future that is both electric and more Canadian. If you choose to purchase a Tesla for your next electric car, keep in mind that Quebec might be the birthplace of real innovation. Third place goes to Heinz ketchup. One of the few things that feels more American is Heinz ketchup on your burger or fries. The brand is well known. The taste? Nostalgic. But in 2025, that thick crimson sauce probably did not come from California or Pennsylvania. Leamington, Ontario is where it started. A once closed operation was reopened by the massive ketchup company Heinz, which now supplies over 60% of the tomato and ketchup products in the US and Canada. Then what was different? A lot. California's tomato farms, which have long been the US's primary supplier of ketchup, have been negatively impacted by drought, rising water prices, and unpredictable harvests. Meanwhile, labor costs have gone up, and the price of aluminum for packaging has soared due to US tariffs. Heinz was given a fresh start in Ontario, which is located across the border. Predictable production conditions, agricultural subsidies, regular rainfall, and fertile soil. It was a tomato treasure trove. The result? Heinz expanded in Canada. Lines for bottling are open 24/7. Truckloads of ketchup leave Leamington every day and head straight to grocery stores and restaurants in the Midwest and Northeast of the United States. Customers see the bottle in the same way. But manufacturing workers in places like Pittsburgh or Fremont, which once took pride in their Heinz heritage, find it hard to ignore the economic shift. Jobs are no longer available. The warehouses are quiet. But this was not a matter of nationalism. Logistics were involved. There. Fourth, GM and EV frames. Detroit muscle and Midwestern grit are conjured up by the name General Motors. American engineering as well. But a startling amount of GM's 2025 electric vehicle production is being built in Quebec's Biconcourt, a long way from Michigan. From the forefront of automobile manufacturing, greetings. GM secretly invested over $600 million in a joint venture with South Korean company POSCO Future M. They collaborated to build a large cathode materials factory, which is crucial for EV batteries. Not using these cathodes, there isn't a Silverado EV, Hummer EV, or Cadillac Lyriq available. But Quebec isn't just making battery parts. It is also producing the lightweight EV frames and structural elements that serve as the cornerstone of GM's electric fleet. What prompted the action? In the manufacturing environment of the United States, metal tariffs, higher energy costs, and red tape. In contrast, Canada offered a sustainable energy source, accelerated permits, and a steady, skilled labor force that was ready to work. The result? Instead of being produced entirely in Indiana or Ohio, major EV components are being imported from Canadian companies and sent south for final assembly. GM did not leave the US. They are playing more strategically in a global game. In cities like Baconcourt, this EV growth has turned a dreary industrial area into a high-tech hub. Furthermore, the parts that power GM cars are increasingly coming from Canada, despite consumers' continued belief that the cars are made in the US. The next time you see a sleek electric Hummer on the road, remember that the engine may have come from Quebec. The Ford Super Duty is ranked number 5. In addition to being a truck, the Ford Super Duty is a symbol. This blue-collar workhorse, which is built in American facilities, is built to handle challenging jobs like towing and hauling across the country. But in 2025, that portrayal of American tenacity is being created in Oakville, Ontario. Ford made the change covertly, but it's clear why. Tariffs on steel and aluminum raised costs in the United States. Labor strikes interrupted production. In contrast, Canada offered a $590 million incentive package, stability, cleaner, less costly hydroelectric power, and a workforce ready to build without interruption. The Oakville Assembly Complex, which was formerly regarded as a side project, is now the primary site for Super Duty production of the newest electric and hybrid cars. Many of the thousands of trucks that depart Ontario each week now go straight to dealerships in Texas, Pennsylvania, Ohio, and other states. The majority of drivers are unaware. Under the hood, they see the same frame, the same insignia, the same roar of power. However, behind the scenes, American workers in Michigan and Kentucky are being reduced in their shifts or losing their jobs completely. Is Ford leaving America? No, they're manufacturing chess and optimizing in a high-stakes game. In addition to being better, Canada's offer was also more clever. When you turn on your Super Duty in 2025, remember that built Ford tough may actually mean assembled in Canada. And that's not a political shift, but a strategic one. At number 6 is Campbell's Soup. For many generations, a can of Campbell's soup has been a staple in American kitchens. Whether it's chicken noodles on a sick day, tomato with grilled cheese, or cream of mushroom for your holiday casserole, it's a